Dan, we are back at it. What's
Hi,
happening?
Frank. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing good.
Good.
It's good to see you again.
Nice to see you. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Got
up
some
here in
new.
New Jersey.
Well,
Fun
I'm
times.
I'm here in Chicago, so we got some nice effects going on behind us. So yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
Yeah, we've
yeah.
got some new backgrounds. We're slowly upgrading Read on the
Yeah.
Record.
Those are
Uh,
some of my challenge coins that I've received from different agencies throughout the years and that. So
I see that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Challenge coins are cool. We love challenge coins. And for our
Yeah.
listeners and viewers, me and Dan have spoken off the record. One day we're going to come up with a Reid Technique challenge coin. I think that would be really neat
I do
to come
too.
up with
I
something
do
like
too.
that. That would
It'll be solid gold, I guarantee you.
That's right.
And for
Solid
and for
gold.
only for 1995 too.
For 1995. That's right.
Yeah,
And you get a special plate, right? Remember
that's
that?
right.
Remember
Yeah,
the
yeah,
commemorative plates out there.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
well, for the listeners and viewers who are joining us, you can listen to Read on the Record podcast. We are on Apple, we're on Spotify, and a host of other platforms. Our main channel, though, the hub of the channel is going to be our YouTube channel, Read on the Record. You can find us on YouTube, just typing us in. If you go to the show notes, if you go to the About page, you will see our email address, readontherecord@gmail.com. Please send us your questions, comments, concerns, anything that you have. We will gladly read them out. Our main shows are going to drop every Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, we would greatly appreciate a 5-star review if you find it in your heart to do so. If you are listening on Spotify, we would really appreciate a follow and a 5-star review as well. That's going to let the algorithms know that we are out there. Whenever me and Dan started this podcast last October, we had exactly 0 subscribers. However, that subscriber count, and I make our subscriber count public on our YouTube channel, it is only going up. So we are beginning to pick up some listeners on our YouTube channel. We are also picking up some listeners on our podcast channel as well. We're really looking forward to future growth. But if you're listening to Apple, you're listening to Spotify, YouTube, whatever it happens to be, if you could do Dan and myself a favor, share it with a friend who you think would be interested in this, right, Dan?
That's right. That's right. There's good
That's a
information.
good
Entertaining.
information.
We try to make it entertaining as well.
Exactly. That's it. Especially the entertaining part. You never know.
That's right. That's right. Have a few laughs here and there if we
Oh,
can.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for
We need
sure.
to get. There's not enough laughter anymore. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And a lot of our listeners that tune in to us, a vast majority of them are former attendees to our seminars, right, Dan?
That's right. And we certainly do appreciate and we hope that the information that we've been giving you or gave you at the course has been effective. We want to hear about your successes in using it, and again, spread the word.
Thank you. Yes. And for those of you who have been sending us some questions in the email, I really, really appreciate it. I am in the process of organizing those emails. I'm kind of arranging them into certain topics of conversation for me and Dan. And I will give you credit where you have asked for credit. And what I'm going to do is not give your name out unless you explicitly give me permission in the email. So we'll be keeping it anonymous if we don't get any kind of permission. But if you sent me an email, I'm not sitting on the email. I'm not trying to keep it my little secret email pal over here. But I'm just kind of saving it for some future content. But I will send you an email whenever we drop an episode with our question.
That's
And
right, because we got real jobs, Frank.
yeah, that's right. We have real jobs. I'm teaching a seminar up here in New Jersey, and I know that Dan's going to be doing some globe trotting here pretty shortly.
Yeah, I'm going to Singapore in a few weeks, and yeah, Brunei. Ever hear of Brunei?
I've heard about it now.
Yeah, yeah,
It sounds
yeah,
remote.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's around Borneo.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that and a few more international programs I'm doing. So
Well, that's great. That's
getting the
wonderful.
word out there. Yeah.
A little bit of note too on the purpose of Read on the Record. If you remember on our very first introductory episode, Dan and myself, this was really the brainchild of Dan, by the way, but
Uh-huh.
uh, so
Yeah.
all the success is mine, the faults are Dan. But
Yeah. There
uh,
you go.
yeah, that's right.
You
But
speak the truth there, my friend.
I speak
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah.
I swear to
Yeah.
God, I swear a
Yeah.
stack of
Yeah.
Bibles. But What we wanted to do was provide for you helpful tips. We wanted to provide our listeners and viewers information that they can use in their investigations and just overall just information about the Reid technique. Well, part of our mission focus of late has been slowly taking our head out of the water. I've always kind of described Reid as kind of like a submarine. It's been cruising beneath the water a little bit, but now we're starting to rise to the surface and we're looking around. And one thing that we've been looking around as some of the students have brought TikTok videos to me, Instagram videos to me, YouTube shorts to me. And normally there's some internet expert on there who is criticizing the Reid technique. And one thing that's, well, I'm going to talk about the good and the bad of that. And then we're going to play a video and we're going to get some feedback from Dan if he's feeling generous for this episode.
I
But
will. I will. Don't get my blood
yeah.
pressure going though, Frank. Yeah.
The good thing about a lot of these videos is it's easy to make content on. Okay, it's really, really easy. Me and Dan can react to it, but that's not what the entire focus of our channel is going to be about. We take a charitable approach to this criticism. As I was talking before when we read Matthew's comment in our last episode, I said that I've got about 3 categories of Reid critics that I've seen. The first category has 2 subgroups. This is people who are just honestly misinformed. The first subcategory are the ones that if you give them the right information, then they're going to course correct and admit that they were wrong about what they initially said. The second subgroup of that category are people that have some skin in the game. Maybe someone told them, but they don't want to come off of what they said about the Reid technique, even when presented with evidence to the contrary. The second group are people who just maliciously, from the day one, produce content that is just completely misinformed. They're just out and out distorting what the Reid technique is about. This is intentional and willful misrepresentation of what we're about. And then there's a third category, but I'm not going to talk about that. That's probably more of a philosophical topic, right, Dan?
Okay.
Third category, the technocrats, I guess, is how we could describe them out there. So, but with that being said, what I would like to do is I would like to play for you a short. This is a
Okay.
YouTube short, Dan.
Okay.
All right. My objective is to play it all the way through uninterrupted because we want to give the creator of this video the most charitable interpretation. After doing that, I'm going to stop it. And now we're going to listen to someone in the room who was most knowledgeable, and that's going to be Dan Malloy with your decades of experience. And don't worry, Dan, it's okay to take credit where it's been earned. And I say this with no snarkiness at all. Dan, you've been with the company for how many years?
Going on 52 years, Frank.
That is excellent. That is excellent. 52 years. And you have no doubt lots of experience, tons of interviews, interrogations. All right. With that being said, Dan, do I have your permission to play the video?
Yes,
Ready?
you do.
All right.
Bring it
Let's
on.
do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
Red flags are going off to you?
Plenty of red flags when they start off by looking at the type of person they're dealing with. They're not often checking themselves at the door. They're not looking at their own biases and what they may think about the person that's in front of them. They also are looking at their behavior, trying to determine whether or not they're telling the truth by looking at how they're looking at them, how they're responding to their line of questioning, what their hands are doing, all sorts of vague things that are not backed up in psychology or science. In fact, to the contrary, they've done studies that have proven a lot of the Reid technique indicators are incorrect.
What?
All right, Dan, that is essentially the gist of the video. I selected this video for 2 reasons. One is this attorney who's a guest on a podcast. And by the way, folks, I checked this podcast out. It's actually an okay podcast. Way, way off the mark with the Reid technique, but a lot of the other content's actually pretty good. It's called Members of the Jury, and I believe they are available on Apple and Spotify, as well as they have a YouTube channel. As a shout out to a fellow creator, we will be providing links to this original short, as well as to the creator's YouTube channel, as well as where you can listen to the podcast. With that charitable comment out of the way, Dan, what's your initial thoughts?
Well, Frank, first of all, I'm just reading this at the very beginning. Besides what they said, it says, ban the Reid Technique.
That's
Why?
right. That's the name of it.
Why? Why?
Exactly. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why ban the Reid Technique? Is that we are assessing people just like in any good investigator will. You need to assess the individual, evaluate them in an interview fashion. And it's important, and these are indicators of truth or deception that we evaluate, behavior symptoms. The behavior is not 100%, but it can send the investigator in the right direction in furthering the investigation. Can I eliminate perhaps this individual as a possible suspect based on what they told me? Should I pursue further investigation of this person based on what they told me? I mean, for years, I started out at Reed's doing polygraph tests, and we all know is that in the polygraph field is that there's tremendous criticism of people. Again, not knowing what the polygraph does evaluate, how the results of a polygraph are obtained in that. Physiological changes. Is that 100%? No. Is evaluating people's behavior 100%? No. But in what we do, it is again uh, directing the investigator on areas that they should be following up on. Just based on an interview of someone, I'm not going to say that person is guilty of the offense and they should be locked up in jail. Absolutely not. That's why we have the legal system. And in any type of evaluation in court, by jurors, by judges, by anybody that deals with people, uh, we all evaluate people's behavior. Uh, in meetings, if I'm having a
Good
meeting with
point, Dan.
somebody,
Yes.
I
Good
can look
point. Yeah.
around
Yeah.
a table, and if I see somebody just doodling, they bored out of their mind, that tells me, well, maybe they're not paying attention. Am I wrong? They're not paying attention? Probably not. But if I call them out, can you tell me, Frank, what I was just talking about? And if they can respond to what I was talking about, better for them, you know. But again, is that these are just tools to help you in the investigation. People make this out to be like it is the absolute end all of everything. It's not. It's a technique used to make investigators' jobs easier, to identify the truthful and hopefully and eliminate them from suspicion and help identify the deceptive individual. Just because a person, in my opinion, is deceptive, are they going to be convicted of a crime? No. Okay. Just because I think they might have done it? No. That's why you have evidence, people's statements, confessions, and that to help prove their guilt. And in any legal system, there's nothing 100%. Do innocent people get convicted? Sure. Do a lot of guilty people go free? Sure. But that's the way that the system is. There's nothing absolute that we're doing. Nor do we pretend to be all knowing in this area. And we're always open to, like you said, Frank, the criticisms of individuals. I don't mind people that if they have a valid point to bring it up and to talk about it, but just to make blanket statements like this in general, it's not based on anything that they can back up. And I haven't seen anything being backed up in these whole things.
Well, yes. And I have two observations based on what you said, Dan. First of all, you brought up a real good point. If you're in a meeting and you're using behavior to determine if someone's paying attention, these people love to attack the Reid technique because part of our tool belt is the three channels of communication: verbal, nonverbal, paralinguistic. And we use that as part of our investigative and interviewing strategies, right? But
Yes.
how many of them, okay, this attorney who made this video, what if he's cross-examining a witness and the witness looks down at his feet and mumbles a reply? Or what if the witness looks at the attorney, makes good eye contact, confident in their answer? Which one of those two witnesses would that attorney want on the stand? The one that looks like they're being untruthful, they're being deceptive, they have zero confidence. Most attorneys, if they want somebody to be a good witness for the state or a good witness for the defense, open up our notebook and look at truthful indicators across the three channels of communication. That's what they would choose all day long.
Even in jury selection,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
use that for both
Wait,
sides, prosecution,
dude,
defense
Dan.
attorneys.
Yeah, like
How do I select a juror? Is that
Dan.
based
I
on what they're
yeah.
telling me? Yeah.
I have been to jury trials, and they make officers go to the jury selection. uh, Let me tell you this. How many of these attorneys are looking at the pool of jurors and they're like, oh, that person's staring at her shoes. This person jackets like this. This person looks like this. This person
Right.
mumbled her name. Uh, these attorneys use behavior all the time. And hey, I'm not aware of a seminar that trains them how to select. There probably is floating around out there,
Right.
but at least we write down what we do, we document what we do. There's a methodology. And another thing is that for them to say that there's no science backing up what we do, that's like saying that there's no science backing up the physics of the wheel. What we do is so fundamental, it's so surface level stuff that, there's no challenging that. It would be one thing if we were in there and we had like neurochemistry and we're trying to
Yeah.
diagnose someone's personality, like a lot of those other interview and interrogation schools that's floating around out there trying to do. They try and make the police officer, detective, investigator a psychologist trying to diagnose
Right.
the person. We do such fundamental low level stuff that it would be like a 10th grade high school level behavioral science. It's fundamental stuff. It's not advanced stuff that's in a gray area. It's settled stuff. And as for these studies that so-called disprove behavior analysis, Dan, how many of their test subjects are live criminal investigations?
I don't.
I'm not
I'm
aware of
unaware.
any.
I'm unaware.
I'm not
And
aware of any.
even frankly,
It's just,
when
yeah.
they would do studies about people attacking the polygraph, they would say, "Oh, we had this study that we did. The polygraph wasn't that accurate." Well, it would be based on mock situations, not real indicators. They would set up phony crimes. Students would participate. In some cases, people would be paid to participate in it. And I can understand you need to start somewhere, but to base a whole concept or a whole idea just on mock situations is not fair. That you talk about being fair, let's be fair, is that we're dealing with real life situations.
Yes, and something else is that our fundamental, and I'm not speaking for John Reid and Associates here, Dan, but as someone who looks at these studies, they use test subjects, like you said, that doesn't replicate reality at all.
Exactly.
Where are the social scientists, the psychologists? Why don't you guys leave your community colleges, drive from your state universities, and go and sit in an actual Reid interview and interrogation, or sit in the observation room and see how it's done in real life? Instead, they get these 18, 19, 20-year-old undergrads with these BS scenarios, and then they never even follow a Reid protocol. Like they
Right.
don't
And
even
that's
do
the
it.
thing. That's
It's
the other
just,
thing too, is that
yeah,
people that are critical many times of the Reid technique are not following the Reid technique as far as they
same.
don't have an
Yeah.
understanding of it. And in a lot of cases, especially when they bring up false confessions, and I think that's what a lot of the critics fall back on, or the Reid technique gets false confessions, they say, is that when you examine what the investigator did to get that confession, in a majority of those cases, they're not following the Reid technique. In a majority of those situations, that investigator never attended the Reid technique. They don't, I could read a book and I can say, oh, this is a medical book. I'm a doctor. Well, that doesn't make me a doctor, okay? Is that uh, let's be fair with people, and that's all we're trying to do is
Yeah,
be
yeah,
fair, not
yeah.
only with us, but with suspects as well. And that's why is that we have a process of not just going in interrogating someone. We interview that person. There's an investigation being done, and that to make sure that we have the right individual. No one wants to accuse someone. No one wants an innocent person convicted.
Do
And
you
we're,
know what? Um, so I'm going to draw an analogy, okay, Dan, in an effort to make it more lighthearted here, because I'm getting kind of
yeah,
my
pissed.
feathers
I'm getting
ruffled.
pissed off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like me. I'm getting.
language, Dan. Watch
I
your
know. I
language.
know. Hey.
Well, yeah, yeah,
I'm from
and
Chicago, Frank.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I know. Hey,
In the words of Don, it's not what he did, but it's him making up a story about something that I said.
yeah,
He's making me sound like a crackpot.
yeah,
I think he should be 86th. Well,
yeah.
I'll tell you this. Um, here is a correlation, okay? And this is kind of a humorous thing of Reid critics out there and people who go Sasquatch hunting. You didn't know there was a
What?
connection, did you, Dan?
I can't wait to hear it.
All right, here's the connection that I've uncovered. Both of them claim to have seen it. The Sasquatch hunters say, hey, I saw Bigfoot. The Reid critics say, hey, this investigator used the Reid technique to extract a false confession from this person, right? And then what's the number one thing you ask for if someone claims to have seen Bigfoot, Dan?
What's the
Where's the
proof?
evidence? Yeah,
Where's the
where's the
proof? Yeah.
video? And guess what? They never produce it.
Hmm.
All right. Okay. You saw Bigfoot. Cool. Where's your picture? Oh, that pixelated stuff? Come back to me whenever you got something better. Or they'll bring back a picture of something that looks like a Sasquatch, and it's a North American black bear walking on two legs, which we have those in North Carolina. They'll walk on two
Wow.
legs, they'll get their paw injured, they'll walk around, and you'll see it, and you're like, that's Bigfoot. Oh my gosh, right? But so the Reid critics, where's your video of these false confessions? And then when they play a video, I don't see the Reid technique. Do you know what
No.
I see, Dan?
Huh.
Misconduct, police misconduct. I see torture. I see criminal violations of civil law. Where does the Reid, for the critics, where do we teach this? Where do we
Yeah.
teach that in our material? And we
We don't.
have, yeah,
Yeah.
we don't. We don't. And the people who cite study after study, most of them have only read the abstract. I've tried to get 2 out of 5 studies that people commonly cite as disproving behavior. And here's the thing, Dan, it costs thousands of dollars to get the actual study. It costs money. I didn't know those things were that expensive. And what they're doing is I notice a bunch of these videos, they only
Mhm.
talk about what the free abstract online says. So that tells me, I'm like, are you even reading the full study? What was the control? What were the variables involved? What were the parameters? How did you measure everything? And I don't know, but it goes back to what you said, your astute observation. Ban the Reid interrogation technique. You can at least get our name right, the Reid technique of interviewing and interrogation. But why ban it? Like, I mean,
Right. Yeah. If used properly, it's effective. As in anything. If
yeah,
not used properly, mistakes are going to be made and problems occur. And that's what we strive for in our 75 years being in business of trying to direct and help investigators try to eliminate the mistakes, make their job easier in a legally acceptable manner. And
Mhm.
that's the thing. It's not what we think is legal, it is legal.
100%. Yes. Yes. It's ethical. It's legal. We are informed by the United States Supreme Court, and we're informed by real life experience. But I mean, the United States Supreme Court. I mean, it's so this video here. Um, that's why I wanted to show it, Dan.
Yeah.
This right here perfectly encapsulates everything that most of these talking points have about the Reid technique. My number one question would be for the creators of this video and this guest attorney who they had on there is, where did you get this information? Just set aside, right? Or just where did you
Right.
get this? Who told you this? I'd like to meet that person, like a dialogue with that person. Where did you get this information? Show me the person, because you've been given wrong information. As a matter of fact, Dan, I did a YouTube short on what to do if your prosecutor hates the Reid technique. And do you know what my advice was?
What, Frank?
Contact us, John Reid and Associates. We'll be happy to clear up anything. We have an official website. Our CEO, Joe Buckley, he's not hiding in a bunker. I mean, it's
No.
like his email is on our email address. We are literally a phone call away. I mean, it's like, if your prosecutor hates us, tell him to call us.
Right. I mean,
We got
you
some
know,
smart folks that read. Yeah,
people may not agree with things, and that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah, that's
That's
okay.
what it's all about. But it's okay. But don't be spreading lies. Don't be giving false information about what we do and the effectiveness of what we teach and do.
Yes,
That's
thank
all
you.
we ask.
And not only that, not to get too personal with this, but if you're sitting back and you're having a visceral reaction to what me and Dan are saying, and you're like, oh, those Reid folks, they just want to blah, blah, blah. Imagine this. Imagine it was a family member close to you, okay, who was a victim of a severe crime. I'm not going to say which one, okay,
Yeah.
but a really bad crime. All right. You would want the best, most competent investigator to interview that suspect. Would you want um would you want your family member to have to take the stand and get cross-examined by a defense attorney, relive and be re-traumatized, which is a constitutional right of the defendant? Totally get that, of which I'm in full support of. Or would you rather have a competent investigator use a technique that arrives at the truth ethically, effectively, and legally, right? You'd want them to use the Reid technique. That's what you'd want.
Right. And one thing to say too, and I probably said this before, is that a majority of people that we are talking to in investigations are telling the truth.
Yes.
A majority. And that's a service to them. So they're not going to be investigated unrighteously in that. Is that, and if we can help in that regard, just like you mentioned, the family member, how many people are cleared in investigations based on what we've taught investigators?
Exactly. Yes. And the streets are safer. Like, you want to ban the Reid technique, go ahead. Although the thing is that if they ever ban the Reid technique, and that's never going to happen, but if they were to do it, let's suppose that something crazy and wacky happened, members of the jury, the creator of that podcast, and I'm so sorry, sir, I forget your name. I will drop you credits at the end of this podcast. I promise. You're a fellow creator. Totally respect that. But if they do ban the Reid technique, do we give them your personal cell phone number when those victims don't get closure on those cases? When that investigator calls them and says, hey, the person who raped your sister showed up here today, but he didn't tell us the truth, and we don't have enough evidence. Your sister's not in the right state to be a witness, so I'm sorry, we're going to have to close the case out.
Yeah.
Do we give them your number whenever that happens? Leave the Reid alone. They are doing justice. They're doing a good thing.
as long as you follow
Yeah,
what we're teaching.
exactly. Yeah, as long as you like, uh,
And
we
it doesn't mean either that investigators that do things different than what we say to do doesn't mean that they're wrong in that. No,
exactly. Yeah,
we are trying to follow what we call legal guidelines. And that is, so if you do something different than we say to do, doesn't mean it's wrong. Okay. It may be perfectly fine and it's worked for you and you're following legal guidelines. You keep doing what you're doing. You don't have to
100%.
use the Reid technique. We're not saying this is the end all for things. Absolutely not. But, we try to give, again, investigators a tool, something to, again, make their job easier and make them more effective.
100%. And for anyone out there, the Reid technique is like a car. A car can get you where you need to go. A car can also be used in a dangerous way if you're
Yeah,
intentionally stupid about it. But if you were to sign up for our seminar or even just go on our website, heck, buy some of our materials offline, right? Tell them Dan and
that's
Frank
right.
sent you. How about that?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you were to check us out, you're going to discover two bookends of the Reid technique. On the one edge of the bookshelf are our core principles. On the other edge of that bookshelf are our best practices. That's our guidelines. You drive in the you drive in the lane. That's our lane that we teach to drive in. You do that, the Reid technique is safe, ethical, effective, and legal. But how can we hold Toyota responsible if a drunk driver gets behind the car of a Camry?
Hmm.
How can we do it?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So I think we've kind of covered everything in it. And
Yeah.
for those who are out there, the podcast that I'm referencing in this video is actually pretty good. There will be a link in the show notes. You can check them out. I encourage you to check his channel out. Other than that, Reid bashing, the roast of Reid. we should call that the roast of
Read
Reid.
roasting, huh?
That's right. A funny anecdotal
But be
story. Yeah,
accurate in what you say.
exactly. Yes, be
Be
accurate.
truthful.
Yeah, or at the very least, I mean, I don't know if that guest reached out to the podcast host or the host reached out to him. We're just an email away. We're a
That's
phone
right.
call away. If you want to talk to
Come on
us,
our show. Come on our
yeah,
show.
yeah, come on our
Let's
show and
talk
talk.
about this.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
We're not
that's
mean.
the other thing. That's the other thing, Frank, is that, you know, people can criticize you all they want, but when you want to sit down with people about those criticisms, oh no, I can't be bothered. I just rather criticize what you're saying, what you're doing, and not really have to defend my criticisms. That's what they're doing,
Yeah, yeah,
and that's BS.
and and I'll say this for people making a bunch of these YouTube videos. We are John Reid and Associates. We're starting to notice these videos and we're going to be reacting to them. For far too long, we have allowed other people to speak for us, and we're slowly going to stop doing that. But I look at the production value. Now, our podcast, we're not HBO, obviously, but we bring experience. We're knowledgeable. We're very knowledgeable in the field that we're talking about, but I see the lighting of these YouTube videos. I hear the music in the background, the shadowing, the cuts. They're all designed to create this dramatic effect in the viewer, to make the Reid technique, and they'll play this gloom and doom music in the background. I mean, we're reaching a day where so much of our material is freely online for you to look at that it's inexcusable that you would be producing videos about the Reid technique to this level now. I mean, I don't see what your excuse is. Now, if you're a small channel, you're a little podcast, you do a quick little Google search. If you're just kind of shooting in the dark, you're just trying to create content, you're just churning stuff out. I understand that. Totally
Yeah,
understand it. And I mean, that's okay to a degree. But for those of you who know, and I know that you know, it's just come on.
you're
Like,
right. It's not the
why make
truth.
the world a worse place than what it is? I mean, come on, Why don't you go
Why
up
don't you
there
help?
and interview?
Yeah.
What? Oh, yeah. What's that, Dan? Sorry.
Why don't they help?
Yes. Help make it better.
And that's what's
You
wrong.
know?
That's what's wrong nowadays. Everybody is so critical of stuff, and they have no solutions to the problem. Okay, is that and we're trying to offer some solution, some help in that regard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, come on our show. Let's talk about it. If you have the gonads to do so.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Let's do it. Let's defend it if you want. And hey, know what? If you decide to make a retraction, and I'm not calling out this creator. I mean, it's neither here nor there.
Nah.
I mean, I don't care if that shorts up, but for the other ones where I can tell that they have actually read, sorry, you
Mhm.
can't really see it. It's starting
Yeah.
to pixelate, but they've
Yeah.
actually read this book. I can tell they have because it's not available online and they are selectively leaving information out.
Right.
Okay. We know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with that being
Yeah.
said, Dan, um,
Frank,
yeah, I've enjoyed it today. Thank you very much. It's
thank
been
you,
great.
Frank, for again getting my blood pressure up here. But
Got to
things
get
need
your
to be
blood pressure up, Dan.
things need
Come
to be
on. That's
said.
it.
Things
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
be said.
that's it.
And we're not going away,
We are not going away. No, we're not.
and we're going to defend what we teach.
That's right. Yeah. Dan, until
Okay,
next
Frank.
time, thank you.
Thank you, Frank.